Give me a minute. I'm trying to work on this camera. Okay, let's see if I can get this like halfway straightened out here. Unfortunately, evidently there's a setting I didn't do in setting this up, and it won't let me go horizontal. I hate vertical video, but here we are. Can everybody hear me okay? Because I'm not using microphone, but I am only standing about, 10 inches from the phone. So I hope that it's going okay. Let's see. Going green, Mom, you don't have to feel bad. Not at all. So yeah, just a couple of quick things up front for those who may be watching this later. I said this in the last live stream. I've turned monetization off while we are live, so you shouldn't be interrupted by ads. That's the goal. Fingers crossed. And then when the video is done and it's uploaded, I'll decide whether I'm going to keep it or not, because again, it's a vertical video, and I just have this aversion to watching vertical videos. It's just me. But if we decide to keep the video and leave it up, then we will turn monetization on at that time. And does that cost me money to leave it off now? Yeah, it will probably cost me 75 cents or so. So I'm not too worried about it. Joe, I'm doing well, very well, thank you. Phil, I actually set this up on my laptop, and that may be part of the problem, because I would have to go back into my laptop, I think, to do, but I don't know. No, I didn't. I set it up on the phone. I did, and you may be right. I will remember that for next time. I was thinking I could change that when I got it going, but that's not going to happen. So as you noticed in the thumbnail, I am at the Cracker Barrel in Harriman, Tennessee. I have strategically parked under this nice little light here, both for the video and to have my car in a well-lit area. And so, yeah, bug sounds, yeah, they're loud. So anyway, I mentioned that I'm coming up here. Tomorrow's Life in Motion Diaries video is a little bit about getting the car ready to come up here. So spoiler alert. And it's horizontal, so it's easier to watch. So I've never been to Harriman before, and I've never been to this Cracker Barrel. Obviously, since I've never been to Harriman, it's kind of a non-starter. But most Cracker Barrels have like large parking lots where they have space available for buses and RVs. This one does not do that. The buses and RVs, they actually park down the hill in front of a hotel that's below here. And so the parking lot's kind of small, but I did call yesterday and told them that I would be here. They close at 10. I wasn't sure if I'd be here by 10. So anyway, I just told them I was coming and asked if it would be okay to park here. And they said people do this all the time, which I kind of knew. And they said, we only have two stipulations. And so I said, okay, what are those? She said, well, one is that you park back here by the trees, so you're out of everybody's way. Not a problem. That was my plan all along. And the second is that you have breakfast with us in the morning. And I'm like, what better place is there to have breakfast than a Cracker Barrel? I mean, come on. Waffle House maybe, but no, Cracker Barrel. So yeah, breakfast is not a problem. So I am up here to do some urban street photography tomorrow. I should just say urban photography, I guess. I'm meeting Ron Durant, who you may know from my photography channel. He's going to come over and have breakfast with me here in the morning, and then we're going to drive, it's I guess almost an hour, to Rocky Top, a little small town above Knoxville. We're going to do some photography there. Then we're going to come back toward Harriman and stop at the historic section of Clinton, Tennessee, and then back to Harriman to finish up, and then I will be going home. It is roughly a 2-hour drive to get back home, so not really sure when I'm gonna leave here, but we've got all day. And so that's sort of the plan, is to go about and get some pictures, do some video work for both of our photography channels. I'm thinking about possibly doing a live stream at breakfast in the morning with Ron. Possibly. I would probably have to set the phone up with my DJI Mic 2s, so we don't get a lot of extra ambient noise around us and, you know, plates crashing and stuff. But by doing that, if we are doing that while we're eating breakfast, the chewing sounds may be loud. So I don't know. The jury's still out on that. So anyway, that's what I'm here for tonight. I have my windows all covered up, so the car is nice and dark. I won't notice this light at all. And I have some things with me for tomorrow, not just to get a video for the Life in Motion Diaries channel, but my Pocket 3 to get video for the photography channel. And then I also have the Ruco drone in case I decide to fly it somewhere tomorrow. Probably not, but I may fly it here in this parking lot before it opens in the morning. I'm not real sure. I'm still trying to get used to that. I've got a video coming out about that soon, so you'll see that. And it is an affiliate link video, so it will come out on a weekend. That's kind of what I've decided to do with those. Let me catch up here on some chats here. Let's see. Yeah, you know, biscuits and apple butter, biscuits and gravy. Not carnivore. But I'm telling you, I understand Southern people from the past, probably in my mom's era growing up, having eggs and bacon and biscuits and gravy. Not only is it cheap, and a lot of it can be homegrown, but if you have the old timers breakfast here at the Cracker Barrel, which is my favorite, you will not be hungry at all day long. It is a filling. Okay, maybe I'll just go off my diet tomorrow and have that. I think I've talked myself into that. Appalachian Channel. Oh, nice. I have one of the assistant principals at the school that I worked at, grew up in Clinton, graduated high school in Clinton, played basketball in Clinton. He's now the basketball coach at Fulton, has been for, I don't know, decades. And he speaks very highly of it. And so, but I don't know what the historic part of it looks like. Yeah, Phil, if I get the old timers breakfast, the hash brown casserole is definitely going to be a thing. You know, I think I've said this before, but some of you may not have come across it. But years ago, I'm talking years ago, when I was still in school trying to get my education degree, for about 6 months, I was a backline cook at a Cracker Barrel in Cleveland. So I made the biscuits, and I made the gravy, and I made the hash browns. It's all frozen, by the way. I don't know if you know that. I made the hash browns. I cooked the potatoes. I did the green beans. I did the cornbread. All the really good stuff, you know. And it was a nice place to work. I'll give them that. It was a nice place to work. I had a friend of mine who got me the job. He was a frontline cook So he did the bacon and the eggs and all of the, you know, the real food that went out. Sam, yeah, it's fortunately I had dinner, so I'm not going to be hungry before I go to bed. But anyway, I said all that to say, you know, we're going to meet up in the morning and kind of get started on the day. And I'm hoping that there is a train close by here. I'm hoping that doesn't bother me during the night, but I'll be honest, once I get to sleep, there are very few things that bother me. um, Raven, yeah, omelets would be great. It really would, but that's why I go to the Waffle House, because they will do omelets, and they will do omelets any way you want them. You just tell them what you want in it, and they'll put it in there. Let's see. Okay, I will beware of the hash brown casserole. Yeah, my mom. In fact, my mom may be online here. I don't know. I won't know that unless she comments. But she's doing really well. I don't have a problem leaving her for a day, or I should say a night. A week from Monday, I'm going camping for 2 nights, and she does really well. Hey, Ron. She does really well, but now when I'm gone, like when I go to Italy, I make sure that people are checking on her. I have a daughter that lives close by, and she goes by and takes the trash out for her on Wednesdays, and our next door neighbor kind of watches to make sure she's okay. And if my mom is watching, she will know this is true, that if she were to have a problem and I'm out of town, she's not going to tell me. Because she doesn't want to bother me while I'm out of town. And no matter how many times I tell her, she's still not going to contact me. So yeah, I have to have some other people looking after her. But yeah, she, and we're going to do another interview with her soon. Some of my cousins contacted me after watching that first video with her, and they learned a lot because their parents weren't talking to them about some of this stuff, and they would like to know a little bit more about her mom and dad, my mom's mom and dad. And so we're going to do an interview to talk a little bit about them and maybe her grandparents, and I've got a list of questions I'm going to give to her to kind of think about. So yeah, Ron, I think before you came on, I was talking about doing a live stream while we're eating breakfast. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm afraid the microphones will pick up all of our chewing. That's my only problem. Yeah, it's going to be a nice night. This is, and I mentioned this before, this is why I set my car up to sleep in my car. It's not really about going to the campground and camping out, although I've enjoyed doing that. I was never a camper, never owned a tent. I don't like sleeping on the ground. I worry about bears, all that kind of stuff. But what I wanted to do, after watching people like Thomas Heaton on his photography channel and some others who got vans, tricked out vans to actually camp in, and some other people who were doing a lot of car camping, I wanted to put this together 4 times like this, where I could drive up the day before a photography opportunity and spend the night and be more rested in the morning when I'm going out to take pictures than if I got up at 3 o'clock, which I'll probably do anyway, but then drove for 2 hours before we started. And so going out to shoot waterfalls and being able to camp overnight close to the waterfall, or taking a trip somewhere. You know, I've talked about going on a circular trip over 10 days to 2 weeks, of going to Bennettsville, South Carolina, and then to Richmond, Indiana, Marion, Indiana, Rochelle, Illinois, and down to Wynne, Arkansas. Those are all the places that I lived growing up. Not in that order, but that's sort of the driving order. And so my plan was to spend the night in a hotel when I'm in that town, get freshened up, cleaned up, whatever, and then drive between towns to some place to go do landscape photography or some other type of photography, and sleep in the car, and then drive the next day to get to the next town, stay in a hotel, and kind of do it on and off. So that was kind of where I was going with all of that. Let's see. Yeah, Rosetta, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure my mom was a teenager before they had electricity. There's a story about a relative on my dad's side of the family. When they got electricity, you know, it was a light bulb in the middle of the room with a string hanging down, and he would wrap his hand up in a towel to turn the light on and to turn it off. And he told his kids never to touch it because it might electrocute them and kill them, because he didn't want to pay the bill. Cracks me up. All right, let's see. What have I missed here? Let's go back. Catherine, yes, I am car camping at a Cracker Barrel, just the one night. So, yeah, some of them don't allow this. I did call ahead. I mentioned that earlier. Let's see. Bear spray. Yeah, you know, when I go up to Chilhowie, I think about that. I probably need bear spray, because even though the black bears up there are probably not going to bother me, they're probably more afraid of me than I am of them. I just don't want to take the chance. So, Sophie, my mom is watching. Thank you. So she's probably already heard me tell them on her. Yeah, but you know, and you know, I know my mom thinks I'm crazy for doing this, and I stopped by Fulton High School today. Ron, I may do that. It's really dark, and so it's kind of hard to see. But I'll pull the microphone off, or the phone off of here in a minute, and see if we can see some of it. I was going to do this sitting inside the car, but it's so dark in there with these things on the windows that I couldn't even see myself. I don't remember where I was. I was talking about something and I got myself sidetracked, so it'll come back to me, I'm sure. So let's just see. I don't know, Ron, I know when you do this, you're an old pro at doing live streams on your phone. Well, I dropped the phone. You know, this is one of the things about the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I have dropped this thing. I do not know how many times I have dropped this thing. And I don't have a case on it, and it has never been a bother. Let me turn the camera around here. There we go. So here is the Cracker Barrel. And you can see the parking lot. They're going to close here in about 10 minutes. The parking lot will be empty. I think this may be an employee over here. I don't think they're staying here. But, you know, my car is just my car. And no, that's just a reflection of the trees. That's not green pollen on there. I haven't taken the awning off, so it's, you know, it's still there. I wonder if I can see better from this side. One of the things I have on this trip that I would not ordinarily have is, well, not this shirt. I ordinarily have a shirt. But one of the things that I have that I would not ordinarily have is this electric bicycle that I thought I might take out and ride tomorrow. So it's packed away in here, and I'll move it over off my bed. So you can kind of see where I'm sleeping over here. I have the mats down and the sleeping bag. I don't sleep in the sleeping bag. It's too hot. It's just there for added cushion. And then here I have the Iceco refrigerator. I've just got some water in there to make sure that it's cold in the morning. I've got some stuff under the seats, and then in here I've got my my camera bag with all of my stuff in it, and the drone. And that's really the long and the short of what I have with me for this trip. I'm just going to hold this rather than try to put it back on the stand over here. Is it an undisclosed location? No. This is the Cracker Barrel parking lot in Harriman, Tennessee. So yeah, it's a very known location. You know, and if you do a Google, or not a Google search, if you do a YouTube search for car camping or stealth car camping, you'll see a lot of people who are either camping in their car, or I'm going to turn back around this way, I get better light over here. They're either camping in their car like I am, or some of them actually live in their car full time. And you know, they will park at campgrounds if they can, but they'll park in hotel parking lots, they'll park in Cracker Barrel parking lots, Walmart parking lots, Love's and Pilot, and some of those, I think they have some designated spots you can pay for to spend the night. I've seen some people who spent the night in an airport parking lot because it's cheaper than a campground. Let's see. Yes, I'm near the Great Smoky Mountains, but I'm not actually in the Great Smoky Mountains. They're still about an hour from here, I think. Rosetta, I have been there. I remember coming back from a trip. This would have been, oh gosh, back in the 80s maybe. I was coming back from a trip to Virginia, and I'd gone up there for the company that I worked for at the time, and I was driving back thinking that I would drive a few hours and spend the night, but I didn't realize I was in the fall foliage season of the Blue Mountain Parkway. And there was not a hotel anywhere with a room. I got all the way back to Knoxville. I was only a little over an hour from home, and I could not drive another mile. I just couldn't. And I got a I don't remember if it was a Red Roof Inn. It was a Red something inn, and I slept with one eye open. That place scared me. So I don't stay at places like that anymore. Let's see. Oh wow, we got 93 on here. How about that? Oh, I see it up here at the top now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and again, for those of you who came in late, I apologize for being vertical. I know that's a great thing for shorts and TikTok and, you know, all that, but long form videos like this, I don't necessarily like vertical. There are a lot of people that do it and have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views, but it's just not my thing. Yes, Going Green Mom, Tennessee is one of those places. If you're going to stop in a rest stop in Tennessee, it is a 2-hour limit. There's no overnight parking. And I checked in South Carolina, and I think the same thing applies there. Because when I was starting to kind of think about this trip I was talking about, I thought about rest stops to park at, but that's not a good plan. everybody's having trouble. Knoxville is, not immune, but I'm more in the Harriman is more in the redneck area, if that's a proper way to put it. Um, and so yeah, I'm not expecting any trouble. Let's put it that way. Um, See you in the morning, Ron. Um, and I do have a friend. His name is Tom, and Tom saw that I was coming up here, and he said, "What are you doing to protect yourself?" And I was like, "Well, I'm locking the doors." And I knew where he was going because, Tom has a pistol and he uses it for protection. And I'm like, I don't have a gun. I'm not buying a gun. Um, but I do have a camping knife. So I have a knife with me. I think it's inside my Stanley lunchbox where all my coffee stuff is, under the seat where I can't get to it. But I have it. um, so, yeah. We'll see how this goes. Like most of the stuff I've done camping so far, this is an experiment. Can I do it? Will I make it through the night without being scared to death? Will I get a knock on the window from somebody? I don't expect to, but you just never know. Wasp spray. I didn't think about that. I have that at home. That would have been good. Yeah, the nature of things. How we doing in upstate New York? Wow. Okay. Rosetta, it was sitting on my Ulanzi MT79, so that I had it standing still, and then when I pulled it off to show the car and dropped it, I decided not to put it back on there. So I'm just holding it at the moment. It is easier to hold vertical than it is to hold horizontal. I'll give it that. So in the morning, I have a little tabletop thing I can use if we decide to do a live stream from inside. And even if we don't do a live stream, I may still record breakfast for later. I can clean up some of the chewing when I do the edit. I don't know. We'll see. Rosetta, yes, it will. This is, it's not so much the gimbal as it is this, and this is locked in sideways now, but this is a Joby phone clamp that is screwed onto the Ulanzi MT79, and it will take a very deep pocket. So yeah, it will hold. If it's in a case, it will hold it. I do recommend Joby. It's a really easy thing to use. And I think the Joby clamp was like $20. Okay, it's about 10 o'clock, and my bedtime is 9 o'clock. So I think I'm going to sign off of here. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been a lot of fun, and who knows? Ron and I may pop up in a live stream at breakfast, or we may pop up in a live stream in one of these downtowns tomorrow. So it won't be announced if we do, and in fact, well, I started to say it might even be on my photography channel, but I'll just leave it here, and put it on this channel if we do. Oh, Brenda, thank you. I will try to have as much fun as humanly possible. Thank you all again for coming. I'm going to see how I can turn this off. I think it's with this little X up here at the top. No, going green, Mom. It is still Eastern time zone here. I did check on that to make sure. All right, everybody's saying good night. Thank you so much for coming. Please hit the like button, and tomorrow I'll make a decision about whether this stays up or whether it goes away. I don't know. We'll see. All right, time to go to bed. We'll see you tomorrow.